Thank you for including this in the program today. I'm from Dalhousie Faculty of Medicine, which is in Nova Scotia, and I'm going to be presenting today on an initiative that we developed jointly between faculty development and medical education scholarship, both of which are located within the Office of Continuing Professional Development. And this is on MedEd Research Roundtables. Just a little background. I think that this won't be news to anybody on this call, but clinician educators play a particularly important role in medical schools. These are people who are physicians or clinicians of some sort, and then also have a focus in not just teaching, but scholarly work in education, curriculum development, assessment, and so forth. And they're uniquely positioned because they have both the clinical and the academic perspectives. And they can have significant contributions to medical education. At our university, many people have completed the Masters of Education that's jointly offered by Dalhousie CPDME and Acadia University. And many of those people have gone on to attain leadership positions in medical education. So in addition to contributing through teaching and developing curriculum, clinician educators also often take on leadership and administration roles and conduct scholarly work. Now, the thing about the clinician educator role, at least at our setting, is that it's not a particularly popular career path. So Dalhousie has four main career paths for clinical faculty. There's the clinician teachers, which is the majority, probably 90% of our faculty, our 1,800 distributed faculty are in that route if they're in a continuing appointment. Then there's the clinician educators, researchers, and administrators. And I tried to get stats on what percentage of our faculty are promoted in the clinician educator pathway. And I wasn't able to get the information, but the impression of the person who handles promotion is that it would be the least, other than clinician administrator, which is very rare as a path for promotion. Clinician educator would probably be the next least common. And because it's going to be uncommon in individual departments, there's an enhanced role for the faculty to be the place where there's building a community of practice, where there's connections, mentorship, and so forth. And I suspect that this is similar at other schools, but I'd be interested in hearing about that. So when we were looking at developing a program to try and promote the scholarly work that is part of the clinician educator pathway, not just as a career path, but also as an element of promotion, which requires publication and dissemination of scholarly work. We did a needs assessment, which was sent out to all departments, but also with more targeted distribution to people that we knew were in leadership positions in undergraduate, postgraduate, CPD, and then also our distributed campus in New Brunswick. We got 36 responses, so not a lot, but it was a very sort of niche topic. We had people based at both New Brunswick and Nova Scotia campuses, including people at rural locations in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. And we had multiple different departments who responded. There's just a sample of a few of them. And we did have some respondents, and I think that this appeared because we had some people who were based in New Brunswick, for example, when the email must have gone out to the New Brunswick faculty. I think it went out to people like librarians and other people up there who are involved in the education mandate. So we did have some people with that background. So this was where people's level of experience fell. You can see that the most common was people with some but not extensive experience. We asked people about the needs that they would see, and you can see that there's sort of a variety. These are when we asked about people who are new to research, education research and scholarship. And then we also asked experienced scholars what they thought would be helpful. And a lot of the things are similar, like people talked about barriers such as time, but I think you can see with the experienced scholars, there's more discussion about taking things to the next degree, coordinating projects, building a program of research, and then knowing more about theoretical underpinnings. And I should say some of these people talked about having experience in clinical, but not education research. So this is what we developed with the Education Roundtables, which occur once a month over lunch hour via Teams. Sarah is the lead, and she brings in various speakers, guest speakers as well. And I try to bring the perspective of a clinician educator into the discussions and the presentations. So the format is that we have a 1 hour didactic session followed by 30 minutes of an office hours type consultation and discussion. These are the topics that we've had so far. And you can see that we've got one more session before we wrap up at the end of June. And so far, we've been having good attendance. We've had, on average, I would say 20 to 25 attendees via Zoom. And we're still looking at ways that we can provide more advanced opportunities and support, including possibly pursuing the Royal College designation. And Teresa, who's on this call, I think would be familiar with some of our work in that area. So that's just a quick overview. And do people have any comments or questions?
Thank you very much for your talk. We'll probably have time for one question. I have a question if there aren't any others, but I'll open the floor first to others in case there are any questions, comments about this work. Again, you can use the chat function or just feel free to speak up. My question is, I was actually pretty impressed by the amount of engagement you got, 20 to 25 participants for a monthly meeting. That's, an hour and a half on a relatively, niche form of academic scholarship or contribution. So what's your secret? Was it the needs assessment, or was it, yeah, I'm just interested how you created such a compelling program to garner that kind of lasting commitment.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not sure it's always the same 20 to 25 people. It's not like we have a like a cohort. It's
right.
People dropping in, right. And my impression is that it varies a bit. Some of these people are not clinician educators. As I mentioned, there's like a librarian, a couple of people who are PhD educators who attend as well. But we still have, I would say like 15 to 20 anyway, clinicians and learners who drop in as well. I don't know. I think we do have, I should have mentioned one of the other groups I think that we targeted were the previous holders of the Living Lab grants that we have at DAL for funding people to do small projects in education research. And I know Sarah was also, although we didn't do it this time around, talking about maybe getting funding for the Living Lab grants to the attending these sessions to get like sort of some fundamentals. But I think there's reasonable interest really in education scholarship at DAL, like even for people who haven't done it before. There seems to be an interest in it. So
that's great. Thank you. Kana had a comment in the chat. I'll just read it out just for in case folks don't have the chat open. She thinks the perceived needs are the same in the Department of Family Medicine. The clinician educator pathway is actually the most common. But I'm not sure about the Department of Family Medicine. I know I could speak to the Department of Medicine that there is no clinician teacher pathway, so that folks are lumped in as clinician educators, whether they're engaging in the scholarship, so to speak, of education, or if they're doing direct teaching. And Alice noted that we have meetings like this, and the next step is collaborative writing. That's thank you very much for an informative talk and great sessions this afternoon. We're going to take a break just to respect the time as much as possible. We'll reconvene at 2 p.m. For the next workshop, which is on international health professions education scholarship. So we look forward to seeing you there.